Even if you were 40 or 50 or 60 or 70, doesn't matter. You're in the game now, and that's what counts. And all those quote unquote wasted years, they weren't wasted, right? They're not wasted because you learned. And specifically, what did he learn about? Learned about what it's like to be out of shape. Learned about what it's like to be overweight. Learned about what it's like to be weak. And the knowledge that you learned about those things is fuel to make sure that it never happens again. Because you know what is out there, and you know how bad it can get. And this is the other reason why it's beneficial that you have a past that wasn't perfect, is now you can teach other people how to do it very clearly.
Yeah.
You can inspire other people to do it. Look at what you did. Look what you did to your brother.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's another good example of that. So back in the day, before anybody knew what jiu-jitsu was, back in the day, I am the worst person to introduce jiu-jitsu to people, because when they see me, because I'm 225 pounds and I'm, a big guy, and they think, of course this guy can choke me. Of course, they don't expect anything else. Yeah. So when I choke them, they're like, well, yeah, you were really strong.
Yeah.
So the best people to introduce jiu-jitsu to people is like Jeff Glover, right? Who's 150 pounds, skinny guy, and he comes out and chokes you, big strong guy, 27 times in a row. They say, oh, maybe this stuff works. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing here. People look at me, they go, well, Jocko's just hardcore. Yeah. No, not just me. Look at you. You're the one that did it. You went through a much bigger transition than I've ever gone through in my life.
Yeah.
So I say you embrace what you learned from the weekdays. Let them make you even stronger. And you use your own personal transformation that you've made in life, use that to help other people transform and get on the path as well. He's well connected up the chain of command. Beautiful. Beautiful. Because if you can now build a relationship with him, you're going to be well connected too. And that's going to be the hardest part, right? It's going to be hard to do. And it's especially hard to do because your attitude right now is negative, right? Your attitude right now is negative. It's a little ego kicking in. I can do better than him. I'm underutilized. He does things, or he's making me do things beneath my capabilities. Those are all just ego. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Ego's good. Ego's got a lot of positives to it. It's what's driving you to want to do better. So it's okay. But you're going to have to overcome that in this scenario in order to build a relationship with this guy. Man, I built relationships with guys that I hated. Because guess what? Does that make me two-faced? No, you know what? It's my job. I'm a professional.
Yeah.
I am a professional. I guarantee you. You come and work with me, you will see I am a professional. And yet, I will build relationships. So that means my job and my professionalism is more important than my ego and my criticality of other people, right? I'm not looking down on him going on. So, because what I want to do is build a good relationship. So when we build that good relationship with him, now if he's well connected with the folks up top, they're like, oh, what's up with Billy? Oh, Billy's good to go, man. He's doing a great job. Now, what if you're like, with the thing so what you got to be careful of, what you don't want to do is create an antagonistic relationship with him. And that includes threatening him with your work ethic, threatening him with your performance level, threatening him with your skills. So you almost have to throttle back just a little bit enough that he's not threatened. Now, the other thing you could do instead of throttling back is what you do is you give him the credit.
Yeah.
And you give him the credit, you're good. And now he's like pumped.
Yep.
He's not looking, you build the relationship. That's what we want to do. We want to build a relationship and we want to put your ego in check, do the little menial tasks, learn as much as you can. And let me tell you, all this is temporary. you will rise to the top. If you do it right, you will rise to the top. If you screw it up, you will never rise. If you create an antagonistic relationship with him, you will not promote. You will not. If you do it right, you will end up above him in the chain of command. It will take time. It will take swallowing of pride. But it will happen. It might take 5 years. It might take 7 years. It might take 9 months. I don't know. But that's what you have to do to make it happen. And have fun doing it. If you're going to go crazy every day, if it hurts you so bad, I make a game out of it. I mean, I'm going to make a total game out of it where my goal is to build this relationship with this guy. I'm going to make a game out of it. We're going to have fun with it. I'm not going to be angry when I come home from work and go, God, I can't believe I had to shake his hand. No. I'm going to come back like, you know what? Hey, like talk to my wife and say, hey, guess what? He actually bought me lunch today and we were laughing about the football game. I don't even like football. You know what I mean? I'm going to build that and I'm going to win. Yeah. And in the long run, you're guaranteed to win if you can play that game. Yeah. So again, everyone thinks it's going to be like, he does not meet, because I was in the military, he does not meet the standards. What you do is you smash him and report him up the chain of command. Oh, good luck with that. Yeah. You have this guy is well connected and has relationships with everyone. They're going to go, hey, let's shut up, new guy. Yeah. Because you're actually proving, you're actually proving when you do this, you're actually proving that you're not a good leader and that you can't put your ego in check. Yeah. You're proving that. You're proving that you can't work with some people. We that guy. No, Jocko. Jocko can't work with anybody. Yeah, Jocko's really good as long as he's working with his team. So what does that mean? Yeah. That means you're confined for the rest of your life of only working with your team. Yeah. Whereas if it's, hey, Jocko's good to go, he can work with anybody. Oh, he worked with Bill, who's an egomaniac, and he worked with Mike, who's a lazy bastard. Guess what? Doesn't matter where you put Jocko, he's going to get it done. Okay, cool. That's the attitude we want people to have about us. Yeah.
Damn, but even that is like it's an art,
Of course it is.
Where, like, you're kind of balancing, because you don't want to be like disingenuous or fake to the point where they know like, oh, this guy's faking. It's like that balance. Yeah,
and you know how you do that? You don't be fake.
Right.
You're not just trying to. See, this is the thing. I'm not trying to build a relationship with Echo so that I can get promoted.
Right.
That will be obvious.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to build a relationship with you because it's going to make our team better and it's going to make us do a better job and it's going to benefit everyone at the company and at the team.
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to do it. I'm not trying to do it so I can get ahead.
Right.
If you're that kind of snake, well, then you're just as bad as the other guy.
Right. Yeah.
You're just one of those guys that's trying to get ahead. No. What you're doing is you're doing it for the benefit of the team. I wasn't forming relationships with people so I could get promoted. I was forming relationships with people so that we could do a better job, so I could get gear for the platoon.
Yeah.
So I could get support from some, supply guy. Oh yeah, hey, what's up, buddy? I'm not doing it disingenuously. I actually want to be bros with him so he knows what we got and he knows what we need.
Right.
Nothing disingenuous about that. I'll talk about football. Maybe that's a little disingenuous, but
Well, if you say you like football, you don't. But that kind of seems like a superficial thing.
But you know what? If
like
you're so into football and we're working together, I'm gonna actually try and figure out. Like, I want to know why are you so into it, man? Tell me about it.
Yep.
What's so like? Explain that to me. You got 300-pound guys that can run 40 yards in like seconds. That's impressive. Let me learn about that. Let's get into the game. When I realized that losing your temper was a sign of weakness, as soon as I made that connection, I said to myself, this is weak. I'm going to try not to do it anymore. And what's weird is when you're a kid, I don't know if you remember this, but when I was a kid and you'd see someone get angry and it made you afraid. And so for a while, I saw it as like a power. It's kind of a way to achieve power, that you can lose your temper and then all of a sudden you have this extra strength. And so when you're a little kid, and when I say a little kid, I mean when I was 13, 14 years old, I thought, hey, if I could get that rage going and people are scared like I used to feel, that's a positive thing. And then, like I said, as I got older, now now you're talking 16, 15, 16, 17, I realized, hey, this isn't cool. This isn't strength. It's actually weakness. Mm-hmm. And when I realized it was weakness, and I didn't realize that overnight, but I started getting the idea that was weakness. And now when you see someone that is in control, and even when bad things are happening, they're standing stoically saying, okay, let me take another look at that and I'll get it done. You know what I mean? When they're just, okay, then you realize, okay, this guy is really unflappable, which is a lot more impressive. Yeah. So again, you got to be able to detach from this. And, I like to take pride in the fact that I'm going to keep my cool no matter what happens. And definitely once you're in the SEAL teams, you definitely want to be that guy that's keeping your cool no matter what's happening. Yeah. Whether it's people are doing the wrong thing or you just want to be the guy that's, hey, okay, come back over here. We need to redo this. You just want to be that guy. Yeah. That's way more impressive than the guy that says, I can't believe this. Don't be that person. So, and I've talked about this before. What are the pre-event indicators that show you or reveal to you that your temper is about to be lost? What are they? Is it you clench your fists, right? Is it you raise your voice and you start doing that stuff? Do you start the heavy breathing? Do you flare your nostrils, right? Because that's an animal thing where you're going to take in more oxygen, so you open up the nostrils because you're about to get after it. Do you, does your head, shaking or whatever? Just like these things. What is it? What indicators do you have when you know that you're starting to feel that? And as soon as you feel that, you detach. You go, oh, that's what that is. That's an indicator. And it's a weakness. Mm-hmm. And I don't like weakness. So I'm not going to allow it. And then, take a breath. I like to say, you know what? Here's a good one. You want to get through that moment. Mm. Nod your head slowly in the affirmative, right? So when someone's telling me something that's making me mad, mm-hmm. I'll just slowly nod my head like, okay. I understand. Yeah. This is the way things are. I accept this. Mm-hmm. And I'm calculating what my next move is going to be. And then, you see whatever, guys will count to 10. You tell your little kids that. Tell your little kids when they start losing their temper, you need to count to 10. Mm-hmm. Count to 10. Count to 100. Count to 1,000, whatever it is you got to do, and get control. Because, like I said, if you're losing control, it's not strength, it's weakness. We focus on our strengths, right? Yeah. That's what we do. That's what people do. So you get a person that's smart, a really intellectual person, mm-hmm. and they let themselves go physically. Right. Or you get a person that's a physical stud, but then they're not going to challenge their brain power. Or like the question that was, the example here that was posed, someone that's a fitness guru or a party guru. I'm throwing that one out there because some people are really good at that. Sure. Or they're an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. I'm an entrepreneur. And so they're driving a new Mercedes, but it's leased. And they're behind on payments, right? So
unstrategically.
Yeah, that. So, you take another example is what about the business person that doesn't have time for their family, right? Yeah. And so that's not good. So I think the focus here is we all have to try to be well-rounded and not focus so much on one area that you're going to let some other area go. That's target fixation is what that is, right? Is you walk into a room and you get fixated on one target, one bad guy. You think there's one bad guy, so you focus all your energy and then you're getting flanked. That's target fixation. You can't let that happen. You can't let it happen on the battlefield. You can't let it happen in life. So look out for that when you do this. And I'll tell you, this is actually a reality of the situation. I try and maintain this balance, but I've been actually working a lot lately. And this is a clear indicator to me that I've overbooked myself is last week. We had to skip a day of jiu-jitsu to record. Dang. I mean, we don't do that, right? Mm-hmm. When do we record? We record after jiu-jitsu. But I knew I had so much stuff going on that I said, hey, we gotta record at this time because I gotta get this other stuff done because I'm traveling and this and that. And so we had to skip the jiu-jitsu. So that is a red flag to me that says I need to tighten up. I need to get my schedule back in check so that I can do the things that I need to do. Of course, what do I say about the situation? It's fine. you know what? Can't train jiu-jitsu that day because I got some travel coming up. Good. I'm going to heal up my shoulder a little bit more. It's fine. But it is an indicator of when things start going in the wrong direction. Maybe I'm getting target fixated on, too much work at a certain time. Mm-hmm. Which to me, again, I will run this thing in the red, as you say. I like running in the red, right? I'm in the red, and I got no problem. We will go hard, and the numbers of hours I will work will have actually no impact on how much I'm going to spend with my family and do jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, because I'll just do it all. Mm-hmm. But there is a capacity that you reach where you go, okay, now one of these things that has just started to slide, now I need to make sure that my levels get re-leveled, I guess you might say. Equalized is what I should have said. Yeah. So back to the subject, don't be a one-trick pony, be a jack of all trades and then master a few of those trades, right? So you can emphasize fitness guru. You can emphasize intellectual power. You can emphasize jujitsu, but don't put 100% of your effort into one area, because eventually it will take you won't have anything else. And by the way, if you put all your eggs in the basket of intellectual power, now you're unhealthy and you die. Right? That doesn't, I don't care how smart you are, you can't do 2 + 2 when you're dead.
Yeah.
So don't put all your focus 100% into one area. Don't become unbalanced in your disciplines. Spread it around and hold the line. And sure, you can confront them, right? And you can, by doing that, join in their little game. And in doing that, you give them the satisfaction. They now know that they got into your head. And then you're turning your workplace into, your basic grade school gossip hall. So we don't like that. But now there are times, unfortunately, that you have to address things. And when you do it professionally. And you do it, your goal is to disarm them. Because remember that this negative person inside, they probably want the confrontation. That's what they want. And so, you say something like, hey, I heard you had some critique points for me about how I'm doing my job. If I'd love to get your feedback so I can tighten up my game. So you just disarm them a little bit. And something like that will likely diffuse the scenario a little bit. And, hopefully the people will the person will understand that there are other people that are telling you what's going on. And it'll kind of put them in check and stifle the situation. But the preferred methodology for this situation for me is quite simple. And that is ignore and outperform them. You see, while you're over there watching me and talking about me, I'm working. I'm working hard. I'm taking things to the next level. You keep gossiping and I'll keep working. You keep talking smack and I'll keep working. You keep focusing on everything and everyone else and I'll keep working. And when you finally look around at where you are and where I'm at, you'll realize that you have nothing left to talk smack about. And you will lose and I will win. And this here applies to when people are playing office politics or forming their little cliques or working their personal agendas. And again, I know sometimes you have to play those games. But let your first course of action, Let the fundamental core of your reaction be to outwork and outperform every last one of them. This is so important. Methods cannot be identical. So you can't just throw this discipline all the same to everyone. Listen to this. Draconian discipline does not fit our customs. Discipline must be a state of mind, a social institution based on salient virtues and defects of the nations. Discipline cannot be secured or created in a day. It is an institution, a tradition. The commander must have confidence in his right to command. He must be accustomed to command and proud to command. This is what strengthens discipline in armies commanded by an aristocracy in certain countries. So I just think it's very important because, again, I don't want people to listen to the podcast and go, that's right, we're going to lay down the discipline now at the company. Everyone's going to follow the rules. No, it can't be draconian. It's got to be a part of the culture. People got to want there to be discipline. Number 1, eat. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But when you've got to force down nothing but plain boiled rice day after day, month after month, eating becomes a difficult chore. Some found death easier. Now, how does that apply to life for me? Eat the right foods. Eat healthy foods. Boom. Done. You want to stay healthy. Next one, practice personal hygiene. When you are sick and starving, it's hard to motivate yourself to keep your body and surroundings clean. Do the best you can with what you have. Filth leads to disease, and disease leads to death. And again, for me, to apply this to life, this is about discipline, and this is about routine, and this is about pride. And maintaining those things. And even, we've talked, one of the stories I talk about on here is the Russians fighting the Chechens. And one of the things that in the debriefs, in the post-operational debriefs, when they lost that first push down there, they said, once the guys stopped shaving, right, then they stopped taking care of the weapons, and everything goes downhill. So to me, one of the things that this applies to, you're talking about it also from a pure health perspective, obviously.
Yeah, but it's also a psychological factor as well.
Yeah. Yes. Number 3, exercise. Set up a daily exercise period. Do something. Even if you are in stocks and chains, you can at least flex a few muscles and do some deep breathing. Okay. There is no more excuses ever for not working out, for not doing something physical. Even if you're in stock, aids, and chains.
Yeah, not in a recliner with the TV on.
Unbelievable. Do not give up the fight to stay alive. This is number 4. Do not give up this fight to stay alive. No matter how sick you are, how serious your wounds, or how hopeless the situation is, there's always a chance you can make it. Take that chance. With your deepest courage, fight for it. Then again, you apply this every day. Look at the opportunities you have. The opportunities that a normal person has. We don't even take advantage of those opportunities that we have. We don't even fight for those. Fight for those. Number 5, establish communications with other prisoners. Use your initiative and imagination to make contact with others, and then develop a chain of command. Build relationships with people.
Yeah.
Just build relationships with people. Number 6, follow the code of conduct. You must know the code before you find yourself in a prison camp. Then you should adhere to the articles as strictly as possible.
And that doesn't mean adhere perfectly, because no one can adhere perfectly, but adhere as close as possible. If you waver, come back to it. Don't waver and think that you've failed and then just cave in and give in. Yeah.
And that's one of the things, again, we were talking on the way over here, That was one of the changes after the experiences that you all
Right.
had, is what initiated those changes in the code of conduct to give it some flexibility,
Right.
so that people could bounce back from and say, oh, yesterday didn't make it, but
Exactly.
today is a new day.
Exactly.
And I think that attitude is perfect for everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
You fall off the wagon on something, okay,
Get back to it.
Get back on it. Number 7, keep the faith. Faith in your family, your religion, and your country may be all that keeps you alive and sane. Hang in there. You are not forgotten. That needs no explanation.
Right.
And number 8, maintain a sense of humor. This is difficult, but both possible and necessary. A bit of humor helps keep away fits of total depression. And remember, depression can kill.